doesn't make that stupid. What the hell? Why is that so quiet? It makes no sense. Anyway, hello everyone. Why is my internet just jumping around all over the place? Today I'm going to do the cooking stream. I'm so hungover. 2 hours to cook a roast dinner. T minus 2 hours. Yes, let's do it. Carrots, parsnip, broccoli. Potatoes. Yes, this is real. Hello. What's your name? Yes. Nice. I can't pronounce your name. This is real. Why wouldn't it be real? countdown timer 10 minutes.
10 minutes, counting down.
Auto will lie to your Black Friday.
Ah. No. Fuck. Stop. Stop. The hell? Start stopwatch. Go on. Stopwatch started. Hey! Morning dish! Cooking a Sunday roast dinner. 26. Oh, just come on. So, I got a viewer! Someone's watching! I thought I was going to go the whole stream without anyone watching me, or any viewers. Yorkshire puddings. Where's my... They're in there. Mix. Yorkshire pudding mix. So Yorkshire pudding mix, how to make it, the perfect Yorkshire puddings. One egg, one egg yolk. Equal volumes of egg, milk and flour. So, it's been so long since I've done this. It's been so long. Oh, I need to wait, so about, is that level? That's about just under 100 mils of egg. Alright, wash this up. And dry it. How's the audio? Is the audio okay? Can you hear the music alright? Not too loud, not too quiet? Sounds good, good. 100 ml of flour, plain flour. I think this is the same playlist as my last stream. I can change it if you want a different music. I need 100 ml of milk. Not level. 100 ml of milk. 100 ml of egg. 100 ml of milk, 100 ml of flour, pork. That's too thick. This is what we are making. One of those. I got that from the freezer. I was just going to eat that, but I decided to cook. Hi. What's your name? Jubea Paros. Can you blow my nose? Loads of flour on the side. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. Time is it? 1:30. I think that was to cook now. I've got two leeks. I can't do cheese leeks. Not very many vegetables. Smoky here. Because I got oil in the oven. It's my eyes. Let me go blow my nose, I'll be back. think should be fairly easy. I'm not going all out. Got broccoli, carrots, parsnip, potato, I think that's it. I might as well stick that back in the freezer. We're making that. Because I normally cook something else right about now. I wasn't going to cook anything else. I'm just going to cook a roast dinner. I got this. Frozen peas as well. There's some frozen peas. The gravy, Bisto Best gravy. I always add extra herbs to my gravy. So, sage, rosemary, and thyme. I need to clean this. So it's got vegetable gravy granules with some extra herbs. So I always like to add extra herbs to my gravy. No way! Thank you! Thanks for the sub. I got 2 subs now and I made sub goal as well. 2 subs in 1 week. No way! Hop jumping! It's my first sub on Twitch. What? No! I'm your first! Oh, I feel honoured. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're a student as well. You shouldn't be spending money on subs when you're a student. That's your hard-earned cash for study materials and books and videos and everything. But I really appreciate it. Thank you. I should have put leeks. I tell you what, no, I'm not doing a roast dinner next week, so there's no point in me buying leeks. I don't want to buy anything that I don't want to cook. I just want to buy just what I want to cook. So, what time is it? I'll just tidy up. There's not much else to do. At least if it's not too many vegetables. Whenever I cook a roast dinner, I always cook too much, far too much, and I've got big plates, so I put far too much on my plate. Is he struggling on the 3 average viewers? It's so easy to get affiliated. It's like the easiest thing for me. If you know how, it's the easiest thing in the world. You don't have to put any effort into it whatsoever. Right, so for my side, I will be cooking, probably expired because the use by date broke off, I don't know. This is vegetable mushroom rice bakes. That's for my side, or for my meaty bit. But I don't put it out yet. Keep that in the freezer. So we're doing English roast dinner, well, a roast dinner because that's normally English, with vegetables, roast potatoes, roast parsnip, purple sprouted broccoli, steamed purple sprouted broccoli, steamed carrots. I don't know if I've got any more vegetables I can steam. No other steamed vegetables. Oh, and frozen peas. We're Yorkshire puddings. We're going to have big Yorkshire puddings. And I will put Yorkshire puddings in with the country bake, with the risotto bakey things, in about 15 minutes. Because they take half an hour to cook. Wait, no, I think that's still too early. Roast potatoes take an hour. So 45 minutes. I've got 45 minutes to kill. They do some washing up. Yeah, so normally during this time, it would be, I could cook another side. So I'd normally cook cheesy leeks. So it would be leeks cut up with a cheese sauce. I make it from scratch with butter, flour and milk. Washing my bare hands. stayed up so late last night watching the Streamer Awards. Basically, woke up before 10. I said, okay, I need to stream because I need to start cooking my roast dinner. So I need my roast dinner cooked by 12 o'clock. No, by 1 o'clock. So Formula 1 starts at 1, I think. I need to check the schedule. I think the show starts at 11:30. So it's kind of like a race, and I like roll out of bed. I need to start streaming straight away. So no shower, no washing my hair. I dry shampooed my hair, so it's not as greasy as it would be. I'm still in my pyjamas, so I haven't put any clothes on. And then I thought, okay, well, my new thing is doing a countdown, because it's what I find is when you go to someone's stream and they have an intro screen, you have no idea how long the intro screen is. Sometimes it's really annoying, and I think, I hate having that. Like if you're going to go live, or if you're going to have an intro screen, at least they'll tell me when you're going to go live. So my new thing is to stick a countdown timer on, an IRL countdown timer. So you can either, if you open up someone's stream and you see, oh, there's a countdown timer, you know, okay, that person's going live in 10-15 minutes. So in 10-15 minutes, so they can leave, they can watch another stream, they can come back, they can leave the stream open. It makes it easy for the viewer to know what's going on. Stall. But the thing is, the beauty of it is, you can stall as much as you like. You can put a countdown timer on for half an hour and say, okay, let your viewers know you're going live in half an hour, and then while the countdown's timing, while the timer's counting down, you can go to the toilet, you can have a shower, you can do whatever you want, but you look at your watch and you know that as soon as that clock goes to 0, you've got to appear on screen. That's my idea anyway. I don't know how useful it is going to be to viewers, but for me, I try to accommodate the viewer as much as possible. I had such a good time yesterday on my hike. I hiked to Lullingston, I forgot what it's called now, I think Lullingston Country Park, and it's like really like stunning views, even like it's just winter, so I was hunting for, I think what I really wanted to see was old trees, like really, really old trees, and I have got some really good pictures. I can't show you because I'm not in my American VPN. YouTube with my American VPN, I can go picture-in-picture mode on YouTube or with the app. That's a nice little a little sneaky trick that I found out. Yeah, but yesterday I was very time limited. I wanted to explore, I wanted to explore lots more and just go completely like off the trails and go like hacking through the jungle kind of thing. But I was like, I couldn't, because I knew I had to leave home. No, I had to leave the car. I had to leave to drive home at 12:30 because it takes half an hour to drive home. But I made it, and the qualifying didn't start till 15:15, So I was like, oh, I even had like time to spare. It was like, I thought I was going to miss the start, and I didn't miss the start. I arrived home just the perfect right time. It was brilliant. But I've got 2 more potential places I want to go. Oh, and the internet at this country park is good. It's really good. Some places a bit spotty. Other places it's like 5G and like max 5G, so it's good. So there's 2. There's one which is kind of a smallish place, or no, like more concentrated. Lots of wildlife, fungi, and plants. So I think I want to go there first. Hopefully it's free parking because I hate paying for parking. And there's another one which is another nature reserve for European bison. There's a wilding project where they reintroduce the European bison into the land, and they just live wild, and they help promote biodiversity. But I need to drive there. I need to basically all these places I need to go to test the internet, because I don't know if it's going to be good or not. So potatoes take an hour to cook, really. Oh, hang on, if the potatoes take an hour to cook, that means I can put my other stuff in very soon. Yes, Yorkshire pudding time. So that's Yorkshire pudding mix. And there's that. So this is 25 180 fan assisted oven, but I'm going to stick it in there for half an hour ish at 200 to go with the roast potatoes. Now Yorkshire puddings time. I'm going to put the Yorkshire puddings on in about 5 minutes. So basically we can eat at 12:30. Yeah, that's good. That's perfect timing. And I need to make sure. So, right, okay. The technique is I steam the veg and I use the same water that I boiled the potatoes to steam the veg, and then the juices run down from the veg and I use that water to make my gravy. So I'm extracting all the goodness. How's the studying going anyway? When's your next exam? Next year? Oh, okay. So you got some time off now. So the beauty, well no, the art of cooking is timing, so you've got to time everything right. So the more stuff you cook, the more different dishes you do, the more hectic it is, the more you've got to think about more than one thing at once. But this is going to be a very simple roast dinner. Very simple. Because I really like, that's going to be like my only kind of side thing. Well, that's my meaty thing. And there's no... I want to learn how to make cauliflower cheese, but I think that's easy. If I can do cheesy leeks, I can do cauliflower cheese. But I don't know. I think I was thinking about doing a roast dinner, but I didn't know if I was going to stream it or not. Do we need butter? I could be thinking about pudding though. What do I want for pudding? I have lots of options for pudding. I've got them. Just look, I've not tried them before, they're new. I bought them because I've not tried them and I got them. I've not tried them before either. I've also got Tesco Finest Christmas pudding for one. Because this is Christmas. I've also got, I think I should actually cook, because it's from last year and it's way out of date. Is that Tesco Finest chocolate bomb? So but the date on the expiry date on this is January 2025. So I could test it to see if that's any good, and if it's no good, I've got one from this year though, so I don't lose anything. But I'll give it a sniff test and a taste test, and we'll see if it's actually depreciated at all. See, look. But this takes ages to cook. It takes forever to cook. Oh no, it's steamed for 30 minutes. So I can use the leftover water from making the gravy and steam it, but I have to time it just right. I will put this in. It's very tiny because I've only got one thing. As soon as I'm done with steaming, then I'll steam that. Do not allow to boil dry. Yeah, because I boiled it dry last year and I almost ruined my pot. But at least we got something exciting for dessert. Not all boring. Right, it's 1:30 time for this. Right, okay. Let's put this to the side. Time to make the magic happen. I didn't put oil in there. Oh, damn it, I didn't put oil. I didn't put any salt either. Pinch of salt and a little bit of oil. I don't know how much. That'll do. Showtime, let's go. Oh, it's gonna hurt my eyes, I know. I need to clean my oven. dirty, okay? A teaspoon of oil in each one. Time to boil that water for the steamed vegetables. Carrots, purple sprouted broccoli. Gravy. And I need a spoon. These are dirty, I need to give this a wash. Listening to synthwave gets me excited for Stranger Things. Really enjoying the series. Some people said it's not as good as it was, but I think you need to give it a go. I mean, you've got to give it a good try, and it might get better. And also, one thing you need to, I think is very important, depending on how good your memory is, you need to watch everything up until now again. So I basically watched season 1 to 4 in preparation for the final season of Stranger Things, and it's the same thing for Wednesday on Netflix. I put it on. I was thinking, I'll see what the recap is for season 2, and I completely forgot everything what happened in the previous season. I was like, oh, this is no good. Like, am I getting old or something? I don't know. I don't understand. Why is that dirty? So I watched it all, and it's I got back into it. It was quite enjoyable. So I'm watching Wednesday now at the moment. Is that dirty? What is that? So currently I'm watching so many programs. I've got loads of series all on the go. if I could list everything I'm watching right now. So I'm watching Wednesday, Stranger Things as and when it gets released. Season 5, Volume 2 comes out around Christmas. And I'm watching Buffy and Angel, but I'm watching it in a specific order. All episodes on both, because both series were kind of shown at the same time. So if you watch only one, you're kind of missing part of the story because there's crossover and linkovers. I think I'm currently on season 6 or 5. I think season 6 of Buffy with the last 2 episodes. And then I'll go back and forth between Buffy and Angel. And I did actually make a list. I made a whole list of shows that I wanted to watch, or that I need to watch on my list. If I can find it. Here we go, right, so on Netflix, Wednesday, Squid Game, The Witcher. I've not seen any of The Witcher, and I've not seen season 2 of Squid Game. Stranger Things, Black Mirror. I've watched all of Black Mirror, so that's good. All up to date on Black Mirror. I'm watching Futurama on Disney Plus. Buffy season 7. That's on Disney, and on Prime, I want to watch Supergirl and the X-Files from season 10 onwards. Is the last one horror? Horror? Well, I don't know which one you're referring to. Horror? I don't know. Oh yes! I need to add Welcome to Derry. I'm watching Welcome to Derry. But I think this is a Netflix, Disney and Prime, so these are my streaming services. So I'll add that to the list. But I'll put that on under Sky because I'm never going to cancel Sky, so I'm always going to have access to it. Here we go. That was my TV list. Yorkshire puddings are growing. Water is boiled. So I need to steam the vegetables. Right, we're in the last 20 minutes now. 20 minutes to go. Everything's got to be timed exactly just right. The vegetable, I don't know how long they'll take to steam. I think they normally take about 10-ish minutes. But the water's boiling quite high. It's quite a fierce boil in there. Lots of steam. So what I don't want to do, I don't want to put the veg in too soon because then it gets soggy. I want to keep that colour on the broccoli. You don't want to lose any of that colour. And then the carrots as well, because if you overdo the carrots, they no longer look orange. They go like pale, and you want that kind of that al dente bite. I need a drink. Oh, I forgot. I didn't realise you got your new sub badge. But okay, right. So my sub badges, they're all ranks in the Air Force. I'm shouting. Let me turn the volume down. Right. So you're currently. I can't remember what rank is it now. Right. So it starts off as airman, which is kind of no rank. Then there's leading aircraftman. You are currently leading aircraftman with your rank badge. Your next rank badge would be the 3 propellers, which is SAC, Senior Aircraft Technician. SAC, Senior Aircraftman. And then there's one with a circle around them, which is Junior Technician. Leading Aircraftman. And my rank at the moment, if I show you, if I type something. Let me type something. My rank is... See, that ranking there is pilot officer. So it's kind of like the lowest of the lowest rank in the officer. So it's kind of like we call them baby in the Air Force. We call them baby officers. And I think my only other sub is Goodman, R7 Goodman. He's a sergeant. So he's has a 6-month badge, which makes him a sergeant. So that is a senior non-commissioned officer. Because it goes corporal, sergeant, and then on from there. Sergeant. Yeah, pilot officers, they're kind of cute. They're kind of funny when we see them in the Air Force. Because they're all like kind of fresh out of turn that down a bit. They're fresh out of officer training, and they're all kind of new, and they're kind of you know what it's like when you're a graduate. I just noticed my kitchen roll is upside down. But it's got to be that way. I can't. It's got to be that way because I pull it that way. That's my OCD. I see a kitchen roll upside down. I've got to turn it because normally kitchen roll is a universal side. There's no upside or downside. Right, time to put the veg on. Veg is steaming. 10 minutes time we make the gravy, and I need to put on the pudding, but I've got no... I have an idea. If I take half of the water, because I'll put it in here. Oh no, it's too much. I've got an idea. I've got a better idea. Better idea. Oh, damn it. I'll use my other pot to steam. Oh, I need a... I haven't got a steamer thing though. So, right, another trick is if you want to get hot water straight away, it's quicker and also cheaper electricity wise to boil it in a kettle. Rather than doing it on the hob, you boil it in a kettle. because it's to do with like thermodynamics, and it's more energy efficient to boil water in a at high wattage in a kettle. Science. But I got to filter the water before putting it in the kettle, because I live in a hard water area. I don't want the kettle to scale up. Right, let's wash this. Oh shit, I forgot something. Right, my country bake, I need to flip over halfway through cooking. Oh no, it's cooked. That's not looking good. I think I cooked it too much. That's difficult because I do have 2 ovens, but I only want to use 1 oven. If you're cooking multiple different foods at that require different temperatures, it gets difficult. Right, kettle. Thing is, I can't use this because I'm still steaming the veg. The only way I could do it is if I put all the veg into one. Do that, couldn't I? I could do that. Just put the broccoli in the top. Here we go, see? And then boil the kettle. And then pudding in there with lid. This is good because it gives me enough time for my food to go down before having pudding. Oh, I need to churn the potatoes. Oh, I forgot. they're done. So I just put them in the top part of my oven to keep them warm. Pudding is now on. Test the veg. And they're done. I don't know. A little bit more. Countdown half an hour.
30 minutes, counting down.
Perfect. Perfect. Do this now. problem.
It's too much.
I burnt the food. I was going to cook some veggie burgers instead. Pudding is ready in 12 minutes. 12 minutes to eat this.
Audi sponsors Formula One on Sky Sports.
All right, here we go. This December,
I've news for you.
F1 season may be over, but the race is on. On Apple TV. Can't wait.
If everyone in this room can make one critical contribution, that's the difference between last and first.
F1, the movie, streaming soon. London life is all about living with differences. The opposites that attract, the riddles, the paradoxes, the exceptional and the contradictory. They're part of who we are. They make London what it is. You can feel it in the air. Cypress and Grapevine, Joe Malone, London.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it. Physically fit, physically fit, physically fit. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
Take your F1 experience to the next level and ride on board exclusively with Sky Q, Sky Stream and Sky Glass. Now TV also gives you full access to every driver's onboard feed. Jump into the cockpit of any of the 20 drivers during practice, qualifying, sprints and race sessions and tune into their team radio.
Really well done with the strategy, guys. That was awesome.
Hit the interactive button on your Sky remote to explore a range of thrilling onboard views from gyro cams and visor cams that put you right into the heart of the action. Plus, don't miss Sky's Battle Channel, showcasing unmissable side-by-side action you won't always see in the main broadcast. Out and about? Stay in the race wherever you go. Scan the QR code to download the Sky Sports app, choose your driver and experience the action live. Strap in and enjoy every twist and turn, only on Sky Sports F1.
Loads of way for you to enjoy the action this evening. Calling it for us, Ted Kravitz in the pit lane as always. Bernie Collins on the pit wall. Up in race control, we've got Anthony Davidson. And Martin Brundle whizzing his way up there to join David Croft. 23 races down, 1 to go. The 25 season has come down to this grand finale and what we hope will be a fitting climax. The top 3 in the championship and the top 3 on the grid. It's time for the decider in the desert.
In this fight because of other people's failures.
Max generally has a good clue about a lot of things, but there's also a lot of things he doesn't have much of a clue about.
The thing that's going to help me win this championship is trying to get the most out of myself.
We need to be perfect till the end to have a chance.
We're free to race and have been the whole season.
I definitely think I'm ruthless enough.
Think is down, and then all of a sudden, where did he come from? I thought he was out.
You can call me Chucky.
I want to make sure if we don't win, he beats us. We don't beat ourselves.
It's quite simple, just try and beat both drivers.
You need to try and win. I believe I can do that.
Get a second or third. Or you win.
felt it ever since we arrived here in Abu Dhabi. As the sands of time then run down to the conclusion of this 2025 season, we arrive at the Yas Marina circuit for round 24 and a season finale beyond our wildest imaginations when we started out in Melbourne way back in March. For 3 title contenders tonight, there's a life-changing 58 laps ahead. For one of them, a 5th consecutive world title. For 2 in Papaya, a first ever world crown. The stuff of boyhood dreams. Welcome along then, ladies and gentlemen, to a track which has been won from pole 10 times in the previous 10 Grand Prix. Will that perfectly executed pole by Max Verstappen and Red Bull prove crucial tonight? Will graining and tyre performance bear dividends for the team that can get it right and cause problems for those that can get it wrong? It's the soft, the medium, the hard, C5, C4, C3, same as last year, but the starting grid is way different. Renault bounce out of the Formula One calendar in their 771st Grand Prix. Their last race as an engine supplier, sadly for them, they occupy the back row. Ahead of them, Nico Hülkenberg, 12-12 in the quali head-to-head at Sauber. He's alongside Alex Albon for Williams. Lewis Hamilton was 16th on the grid here last year, and he came 4th. He's going to try and do that again tonight, and he starts alongside Lance Stroll. Kimi Antonelli on the podium from 17th in Vegas. What can he do from 14th tonight? Liam Lawson starts 13th for Racing Bulls, behind Carlos Sainz for Williams, and Ollie Behrman, who missed the top 10 by just 7 1/1000ths of a second. Yuki Tsunoda in the top 10, ends a run of 6 Grand Prix without a Q3 appearance, alongside the man who takes his place next season at Red Bull, Isaac Hadjar. Esteban Ocon starts 8th, alongside Gabriel Bortoleto. Sauber start their final race in the top 7 like they did their first in 1993. Fernando Alonso is 6th on the grid, alongside Charles Leclerc for Ferrari. George Russell, 4th best qualifier of the season, starts 4th tonight. Oscar Piastri, championship leader for 15 rounds this season, is 3rd on the grid. Lando Norris, the championship leader, on the front row. Max Verstappen has bagged pole, and Martin Brundle very soon. It's time to stop all the preamble. It's time to stop the talk. You cannot overhype this evening, and I just want to get on with the action.
Absolutely. Verstappen and Red Bull have to control the pace of this race. McLaren and Norris and Piastri have to overtake him somehow and control the pace of this race. McLaren have split strategies between their 2 drivers. Medium compound for Lando Norris, the faster, less durable one. Hard compound for Oscar Piastri. And also then, the next one on the hard compound is Yuki Tsunoda in the 2nd Red Bull. Will they try and run long? There's no doubt about it. Even though one is on pole and the other Red Bull is in 10th, they will be trying to use both cars to destabilise McLaren's race.
We're expecting, if Max Verstappen goes into turn 1, comes out unscathed and is leading the race, to control the pace, put the handbrake on to a certain extent, keep the pack tightly close together. That's why his teammates on the hard compound tyre tonight, to maybe take advantage. But if Max now does that, Oscar Piastri can have first advantage by being out in front when the others pit.
Yes, and if he does get a bit of clear air in front of him, put the throttle down and try and build some space. So we've really got to keep an eye on everybody in this race as to where, and don't forget, Red Bull have a 2nd team on the grid in Racing Bulls. Now, they can't block and they can't weave, but there's nothing to stop them leaving those cars out if they can bring them into play and use them at least to slow, as Red Bull did with Sergio Perez back in 2021, at least slow the progress of the McLarens if they can get between them at some point with a counter strategy.
Further down the field, it's a soft tyre start for Hamilton, Albon, Hülkenberg. That soft tyre start could pay dividends if they pit early and put on the hard tyre and it goes to the end. Andrea Stella, the McLaren team boss, I said to him, how did you sleep last night? He said, well, yeah, I was a bit on and off until I realised what the strategy should be for today, and then I slept beautifully. So Penny Collins, I wonder if they've got it right.
Well, time will tell, Crofty, but the race is on with that split tyre strategy for McLaren. That is so important to how today is going to plan out. Tsunoda, I expected to start on a hard. That's beautifully set up to create some traffic, to help Verstappen potentially go on and win this race. And as 5th drivers championship, can Tsunoda extend long enough and hold the McLarens back? Piastri is hoping that the hard tyre doesn't disadvantage him off the line, but brings him opportunity later. So playing the long game, can that work? Time will tell, Crofty.
Great to have you with us on the pit wall tonight. Bernie Collins, former head of strategy at Aston Martin, strategy engineer at McLaren before that. She's our eyes and ears on the pit wall. Anthony Davidson in race control and monitoring the on-track action. We're going to get some tonight.
And curiously, this is not, normally it's been a sort of relatively easy one-stopper, but they're finding the tyres, and I think that could well be because the track's been resurfaced through turns 1 through to 4, and that's super high speed, especially turns 2 and 3, and it might just be taking a little bit more energy and life out of the tyre.
Right then, Martin Brundle. Lando Norris, 408 points. Verstappen, 396. Piastri, 392. Verstappen's on pole. Who would you want to be out of the top 3 on the grid and contending tonight?
You would always want to be Norris with those 12 points in your pocket, because Verstappen needs Norris to have a problem. And so does Piastri actually need Verstappen and Norris to have a problem. So as we head towards the 5 lights out, Lando sitting there needing to just be in the top 3, starts second, got a very fast car, knows what to do, knows the track incredibly well, and you would think that should be fairly straightforward. Red Bull have got to make sure it's not.
So, by the time we finish tonight, we'll have completed 1,444 Grand Prix racing laps. We'll have raced over a distance of 7,313 kilometres. And Max Verstappen will have been world champion, ladies and gentlemen, for 1,457 consecutive days. Can he keep that run going? Will Lando Norris pounce and take his first world title? Will Oscar Piastri do the same and become the 3rd world champion from Australia? We started out in Melbourne. Will Melbourne be celebrating Oscar Piastri tonight? Or will it be a Glastonbury festival for Lando Norris, or Dutch delight for Max Verstappen?
Max Verstappen right at the front of his yellow marker line there. Doesn't want to give away any centimetres. And I think Lando also just move forward slightly as well. It's right at the front of his start box. And they've got about 10 or 20 degrees of pointing at each other, the 2 front row sitters.
On the front row, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris going through their pre-start routine, both being told that they were absolutely spot on. So expect a very good getaway from both. There is the green flag. 5 lights on ahead of the drivers. Are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? It's lights out and away we go. Verstappen comes right over to cover Lando Norris. Leaves a gap for Piastri if he wants it. Norris trying to jockey his way past, but there is no way past. The top 3 all through in the same order. Norris ahead of Piastri, and then Fernando Alonso battling away with Charles Leclerc. George Russell has dropped a couple of places at the start as Verstappen leads.
That's painful for George Russell there, losing those places, because he's got a car that is very fast. It's steaming down the inside. Goes a Racing Bull.
Well, Esteban Ocon behind Isaac Hadjar trying to steam past as well. Gabriel Bortoletto, I think, has been passed by Isaac Hadjar. And now Max Verstappen towards the chicanes behind them. It's almost wheel to wheel for Alonso, the former Ferrari driver, and Leclerc, the current Ferrari driver. And still Esteban Ocon trying to find a way past as Alonso has this time gone past Leclerc. No, Leclerc just squeezes him out on the exit. But here comes Oscar Piastri right behind Lando Norris towards turn 9. And he's picking up a great slipstream as he moves to the outside. Piastri goes round the outside of Lando Norris and he swoops through into 2nd place.
On the hard compound tyre as well. That's a critical move. So suddenly then, Max Verstappen with a different McLaren on his in his mirrors and on the hard compound tyre. That was an amazing move from Piastri, and our McLaren thinking, let's send him off after. We're not going to let Max Verstappen do the slow pace. Let's get in there and get after him.
Well, drama on that first lap, with a great move from Oscar Piastri has put him up into 2nd place. Max Verstappen leads, Lando Norris 3rd. That is good enough if he finishes there. And to win the World Championship, there's a long, long way to go. Leclerc is somehow still ahead of Alonso. Russell 6th, Bortoletto is ahead of Hadjar. Ocon 9th, Tsunoda 10th. Ollie Behrman has dropped a place to Lawson. Sainz has dropped a place. Lawson's picked up 2 places. Hamilton on the soft tyre and Albon on the soft tyre, picking up 2 places. Stroll and Antonelli heading down. Hulkenberg, Gasly, Colapinto the bottom 3.
DRS is now enabled, and neither of the McLarens have got it, but Charles Leclerc has in the Ferrari with a DRS train behind him. This is a problem now. This is a problem for Lando Norris. He really needs to stay close enough to Piastri because Leclerc's going to get another dose of DRS right now.
And Oscar Piastri might not need that DRS because he's got a much faster straight line speed than his teammate. But that was putting away there from Lando Norris. He's a bit under pressure. And on the night that we say goodbye to DRS as well, the drag reduction system where that rear wing opens up, this is the final race for DRS, and some might think that's a good idea, some might miss it. Well, we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, but let's see what we get next year. But we don't care about next year right now. It's all about this evening. And you would have to say, this has not been a great opening 2 laps for Lando Norris.
The thing is, Lando Norris can't afford to start dropping back under pressure from Charles Leclerc behind him and under pressure from Fernando Alonso, who was absolutely cock-a-hoop when he got that P6 in qualifying yesterday. He bounced back into the Aston Martin hospitality area, and I'm not surprised too, his highest start here in the Asmarina since, what, 2012. Started 6th that day, and he finished 2nd on the podium. There's race control have noted Franco Colapinto for a starting procedure infringement. That might be a jumped start, and Hamilton has been noted for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
Norris getting a little bit of breathing space behind him now, which he needs. Of course, if he finished in this position, he would be the world champion. Long way to go, but it helps McLaren a lot that George Russell, who I think has got the 4th fastest combo on this racetrack, is tucked up behind Fernando Alonso.
And saying check his brakes as well, because his pedal feels a little bit long. He's not getting the response that he wants towards the turn 9 corner where Piastri got past Norris. He is still, George Russell, tucked up behind Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton gaining on Ollie Behrman in the battle for 12th place, whilst Max Verstappen setting another fastest lap of this race and extending his advantage to Oscar Piastri. We all thought he might back up the pack and put the handbrake on. That's not happening at this moment.
Now, some people think that would be after the first stops have taken place, or the stop indeed has taken place. So we'll wait and see, because at the moment, you're right, he's stretching the field. We're looking for a 21-second gap to fit into after a pit stop, and they're already 12.9 ahead of 20th and last Franco Colapinto.
Lap 4, hole 58. Once again, we're on board still with Lewis Hamilton. Don't forget, we've got the onboard channel for you as well. If you want to ride on board with any of the 20 drivers, you can do so. You need your Sky Sports app, your Sky Sports login, or press the interactive button on your remote control if you're watching on Sky Q, Sky Stream, Sky Glass, or Now. And now, yeah, here comes Leclerc, and here comes Russell too. Alonso's looking for him in his mirrors. George Russell down the inside on Fernando Alonso, and he puts his car up in the 5th.
So Alonso, I think, will then start backing the pack up now that he's lost that place to George Russell, who's out of DRS. But look at this, Leclerc as being a right menace behind Lando Norris.
And ahead of Lewis Hamilton, Behrman and Lawson having a right old tussle as well as Charles Leclerc gets really close to the back end of Lando Norris, and Hamilton has made up a place there. And is that Ollie Behrman with a little bit of trouble? Do we see some Spidey's coming back at him, and he almost made contact? Wow, there's a battle going on for 12.
And the story also here is Ferrari have a much better race car than a qualifying car. They look good.
Those soft tyres working well for Lewis Hamilton currently. His teammate Charles Leclerc is up in 4th and is putting all sorts of pressure on Lando Norris as they cross the line once again. 2.2 seconds.
We're happy with this as long as you're comfortable. This will be plan A, target lap, plan A, target lap.
Yeah, and that's unless the Ferrari gets past him. If he's got a bit more pace, he ought to just get himself a bit of breathing space there, because Leclerc cares nothing about the World Championship.
So Leclerc might just be not getting the DRS advantage on this lap, unless he can gain a few hundreds behind Lando Norris. There it goes into the hairpin, so he should still get that advantage, about 18 kilometres an hour of extra pace down the straight, and he's a long, long way back.
Hasn't got it.
Yeah, 2.5 seconds Verstappen over Piastri. Benny Collins on the pit wall. Let's go down to you.
Yeah, just quickly, Crofty. So Norris seemed to be managing a lot through turns 2, 3, 4, and that's where Leclerc was able to gain on him. And then with the DRS, which he's lost this lap, better in straight line speed as well. Now, the last time through 2, 3, 4, Norris has improved the pace there, so maybe a bit of early management that allowed Leclerc to close. But I'll continue to watch it and let you know how it goes.
Well spotted, Bernie. Yeah, tyre management, just easing off the throttle, not putting too much lateral load in. So it was Alonso who got a stormer of a start start, wasn't it, in the Aston Martin, up the inside of Leclerc's Ferrari as well. And at this point, it all looks perfect for McLaren. And when they get round to turn 9, Piastri will put a move. Was that a planned move? Will put a move on Lando Norris. And look at that, Leclerc also having a look into turn 5 as well. But Norris seems to have it covered.
This is the start on board with Max Verstappen. Just moves straight away over to the left-hand side.
It wasn't Max's finest ever Formula 1 start, that. And so he had to make it a very wide Red Bull.
It was good enough, though.
It just bogged down a little. It was fine, but it just bogged a little.
It's all going to get bogged down. Here's George Russell.
Too much wheel spin. That so often happens when you know you haven't got the initial launch. You get a bit trigger happy on the throttle and you double your troubles.
So George Russell started 4th, currently running 5th, was running down in 6th place as still Max Verstappen extending his lead out in front over Oscar Piastri. As we see Piastri's move now on Lando Norris in towards turn 9. He was picking up a great slipstream. I don't know if it was planned or not, but he certainly committed early into that.
Yeah. And it was a lovely move, and he's got a bit more straight line speed. And as you say, the slipstream, no DRS. They both start harvesting, that's the red lights flashing, filling their battery up. And very bold. He had enough grip to go around the outside. That's a sweet move from Oscar Piastri. Beautiful.
And the thing with Oscar Piastri is he's on the hard compound tyre. He can go much longer in this stint and dictate and control the race, you would imagine.
This is good for now, Max. We may wish to be going longer, so just keep on top.
That might be a cue for Max Verstappen to start just controlling his pace a little bit, but Piastri can go much longer, we think, than Max Verstappen. They've kept a couple of hard tyres back in McLaren just in case, and when he's controlling the race, we'll see what the pace is like then. Now, I mentioned Lewis Hamilton had been noted for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. The stewards have had a look at it, as has Anthony Davidson, and what did you see?
Yeah, so he was racing Sainz, Scotty, through turn 6 where he mounted an attack, and then on the exit of turn 7 he'll claim that he got hit out of the way, but he did actually end up overtaking the Williams driver off track. Lando Norris under pressure once again here from Charles Leclerc. Norris has been told by his engineer that we suggest using a little bit more of your tyres to make this a bit easier. Doesn't look too easy to me just yet.
And the stewards have said no further investigation on that Lewis Hamilton issue. As here comes Charles Leclerc once again towards Lando Norris once again. He gets tucked up behind, but no way past the McLaren.
Yeah, so Lando's managing his tyres, as Bernie was pointing out, not trying to take too much life out of them in the really high-loaded areas. But Leclerc is a major threat there for his top 3 position that he needs to win this World Championship. But he's thinking the long game. Lando doesn't look flustered. He's not going and defending fresh air and spending too long defending against Ferrari when it's not quite in position. So what they're basically saying there, we've asked Oscar to speed up. That's because Lando's driving in his dirty air, and they're nervous. McLaren are nervous that they're under pressure from Charles Leclerc. The Ferrari is performing better in race trim.
If Lando Norris is 4th in this race, Max Verstappen has to finish 2nd or lower for Lando Norris to be world champion. Just one of the many permutations here tonight.
Now Lando had a little...
Let's see if we can start putting Verstappen under pressure.
And I tell you what, Norris needs some good traction out of turn 7, because Leclerc's going to get another rear wing open moment and the slipstream, and he'll be on to him. So they want Piastri to pick up the pace so that Lando can pick up his pace and not be in so much dirty air.
That was a good exit there by Lando Norris out of that turn 7 chicane. Let's head down to 10 in the pit lane.
It's only lap 8. We've already had our first stopper. It's Nico Hülkenberg in the Sauber, and he's got off the soft tyre. So we expect to see Lewis Hamilton in within a handful of laps. And talking of target lap time for Lando Norris, between laps 15 and 21, unless they want to extend it on that medium tyre. Just a reminder of the time, how long it takes you. 21 seconds under normal situations, 11 seconds if it's under a virtual safety car. And as I say it, in comes Hamilton with the soft tyre to get rid of that. Didn't last
last for long, but he made up some places. Seriously, predicting the future there, Ted Kravitz, and also Alex Albon into the pits, the other starter on the soft tyres.
Leclerc just had a scruffy exit of turn 1 and it's put him a little bit behind. And on goes the hard compound tyre. This is almost a thing for Lewis, really, isn't it? To put him out of sync with many others, give him a chance to come through the field from 16th on the grid.
It's a strategy that worked very, very well for Kimi Antonelli when he stopped early and got rid of the soft tyres in Las Vegas and went on to score a whole host of points. The young rookie finished third after the two McLarens had got disqualified. Antonelli, by the way, starting just 2 points behind Hamilton in 7th in the championship today.
Piastri, I don't know how he's seeing that. Piastri is like Verstappen's front tyres. You were looking at some data, Crofty. Verstappen's front tyres, I can see them graining. That's impressive from that distance.
He's got the best eyesight in Abu Dhabi this evening. Bernie Collins has got the second best eyesight. She's looking at a laptop.
Well, I've got some data, Crofty, that's definitely helping my eyesight. So what do we think is going to happen now with McLaren's? I think McLaren were not expecting Piastri on that hard tyre to get ahead of Lando Norris on the medium tyre. Piastri should run longer into the race on that hard tyre. Does that mean that they allow Norris to undercut him by stopping first off that medium big decision on the pit wall? So that means that Piastri likely run long on that hard and then have to gain positions back at the end. So how long can the hard go? And is the medium graining that Piastri likely go in the second stint be so much better that he can overtake and push for that first Drivers' Championship? Lots still to play for, particularly across these two McLarens.
Unlike 7 days ago, Fernando Alonso is not playing the hold the rest of them up and then I'll bolt just before my pit stop. He's lapping 30.0 on that last lap. He's lapping fast, so what that means is we're not getting a big pit stop gap for the top 3 or 4 to pit into.
Well, Max Verstappen said, we're just going to go out and win the race and we're going to run it as best we can and not really get involved too much in the games, and that is what's happening so far. Hulkenberg has just set the new fastest lap of the race, not surprising because he's just been into the pits to put the hard tyres on, and Zach Brown is on the pit wall at McLaren. So Zach, tell us from your perspective how the opening 10 laps have gone.
So far so good. Can't say I'm comfortable, but we're in good shape right now. It's in the mandatory race.
Zach, were you expecting your cars to swap position on the first lap? Did that come as a bit of a surprise?
No, I wasn't surprised by that.
Zach, thanks ever so much. We'll be back with you in a little while. Max Verstappen then, who's led 4 Grand Prix and 2 sprints from start to finish this season, is leading and has led each and every one of the 10 racing laps we've had so far tonight. Oscar Piastri is in 2nd place. Lando Norris is in 3rd. That is good enough for Lando Norris to become champion at the end of 58 laps. For Verstappen to win the title, if he wins this race, Lando Norris has to be 4th or lower. For Oscar Piastri to win the title, if he finishes 2nd, Lando Norris has to be 10th or lower, and Max Verstappen has to finish 4th or lower.
Let's see when he slows down if we can see any of this graining. They don't look too bad. They don't look too bad at all, but with Piastri sitting there on hard compound tyres, that really confines Red Bull in terms of trying to slow the pack down. They've really got, and Zach sort of just confirming it there, they weren't surprised at the change on the first lap. They put Piastri in there and he can torment Verstappen and he can very much restrict what Red Bull can do from there. With that car, his talent, and those hard compound tyres.
And if it was a predetermined plan from McLaren, it's good for Piastri. It gets him up into 2nd place. It only becomes bad if he has to hand the place back to his teammate later in the race.
A dream situation here for McLaren would be Piastri out front, if they can do it, and he will be at some point because of the tyres. Norris 3rd. They've got both drivers in a World Championship winning position. Norris would take it, but that gives them an each-way bet to avoid the nightmare for McLaren of Verstappen being the champion.
Well, they were Constructors' champions, of course, back in September in Singapore, or in October in Singapore, and tonight they want the double. The Constructors and the Drivers' Championship, looking good for them so far, as Verstappen leads by about 2 seconds then from Piastri. Now, outside the championship contention, Charles Leclerc just dropped back a little bit on Lando Norris in recent laps. George Russell, who's not really very happy with the way things are going, is currently running in 5th. Fernando Alonso 6th ahead of Gabriel Bortoleto. Isaac Hadjar in 8th and Esteban Ocon 9th. And then comes Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. Lawson and Behrman are under investigation, driving erratically potentially. Liam Lawson, the stewards, are looking into that one at the moment.
And there's an interesting little battle, isn't there? Kimi Antonelli is 2 points behind the man whose seat he took when he moved to Ferrari, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's pitted, he's down in 18th, but at the moment you'd have to say advantage Lewis Hamilton with that pit stop out of the way, and that little sort of interesting aside, isn't it, between Antonelli and Hamilton. The dynamics of that are quite fascinating.
Well, 18 seasons in Formula 1 for Lewis Hamilton. He's never finished outside the top 6 in the championship. That could happen tonight if Kimi Antonelli scores 2 points and Lewis Hamilton doesn't score any. So interesting, and I think for Lewis Hamilton actually quite important as well to at least come away from this season with another top 6 finish in the championship, to keep that record going and then build on something in the winter to come back in a much better frame of mind, which I really hope he does.
Leclerc's starting to hurt a little bit now with his tyres. He's been in close to the back of that McLaren, and we know the McLarens have tended to be very good at keeping their tyres intact on the longer run, something they couldn't really use last weekend because of that 25 lap limit.
My graining is definitely picking up, says Lando Norris, so he'll be happier that Oscar Piastri's a little bit further up the road, but he'll be concerned about that graining and how that affects his performance and his traction out of the slow corners.
Now, Tsunoda is 16 seconds adrift. It won't be about another 5 laps. Tsunoda will be more than a pit stop behind. Again, takes away, unless they can get Tsunoda in and doing some stunning lap times, takes away him as a tool in this race to destabilise McLaren.
Good news for Tsunoda is that Isaac Hadjar is just backing things up a little bit here, and that has brought Esteban Ocon into contention in DRS range, and that's going to give Yuki Tsunoda a chance to get a little bit closer as well. What they're telling Tsunoda on the team radio is that opportunities will come, because some of the DRS train is breaking up a little bit, but you're absolutely right, Martin. 16.3 seconds behind his teammate and leader at the moment, Max Verstappen.
Now, Piastri just done a 29.2, just taken 4 tenths out of the lead of Max Verstappen. And we've got a 5-second time penalty for Liam Lawson for driving erratically.
We saw that in the chicane in turn 6 and 7 when we were on board. I think with Lewis Hamilton, he was just a little bit behind them at the time before he pitted, and they certainly came together very closely, but we didn't quite see what triggered it.
Going around corners at 200 miles an hour is quite erratic anyway, isn't it, basically? But anyway, he was extra erratic because it's a 5-second penalty he'll serve at the pit stop. They're not allowed to touch the car for the first 5 seconds.
The championship midfield battle is important for prize money. And at the moment, Haas not closing in on Aston Martin, who had a decent weekend in Qatar and went back ahead of Haas in that 7th place in the championship. We're on board then with Esteban Ocon. DRS zone number 2. Is there a way past the car in front? Isaac Hadjar? No, there isn't. Ted, down to you.
Right, so if we think the first lap that the medium starters can pit and go on to the hard go to the end of the race very comfortably is lap 15, that's a lap away, isn't it, Crofty?
Yes.
So if you want to make a cup of tea, go and do it now, because I think George Russell might pull the trigger here on a potential undercut with Charles Leclerc, Mercedes team radio.
Oh, Ted, you are the best fortune teller we've got.
He's right in front of me. He's right in front. I promise you, I didn't know that was going to happen. But the mechanics are out. They're ready for a pit stop. Also comes in with the Racing Bulls. Oh, a bit gingerly away for George. I think he had to wait for the Racing Bulls there. But otherwise, he's putting the undercut on Charles Leclerc. Let's see if Ferrari react. If they bring him in next lap, they've got half a chance. 1.5 seconds Leclerc had on George. But otherwise, George needs a massive outlap now to undercut Leclerc.
Yeah, I tell you what he was also doing, and Hadjar and was also trying the same thing, and Behrman. They were covering Lewis Hamilton, because Hamilton stopped a few laps ago, and he has got ahead of Isaac Hadjar, and George Russell has come out just ahead of his old teammate, so he was covering him off.
Yeah, well, he's got to get past Colapinto quite quickly, George Russell, but then he's going to come across a big queue of traffic. Ocon, Tsunoda, Lawson, Sainz, Stroll, Antonelli. He's got to hope they start pitting soon too.
Yeah. So it's not ideal that he's pitted into traffic, but he did have to come
Murder?
and protect himself.
It was a necessity rather than a desire.
Did I enjoy my last murder?
Quite. So will that then trigger the likes
I'm not murdered
of
anyone.
Ocon, Bortoletto, Alonso maybe to come in at the end of this lap? The undercut, he's a little dummy down at
What do you mean?
McLaren, thinking, well, we might force Piastri to come in or Charles Leclerc to come in, but they decided against that. I said, would Bortoletto come in? The answer to that is yes, to protect him against the undercut. Alonso has stayed out. Sonoda then moves up into 7th place, running on those hard tyres. Here is Bortoletto, Sauber's last race in Formula One, as they become Audi for next season, and he's off and away, and he'll come out round about where Isaac Hadjar might be. Let's just see, there's Alex Albon making his way around turn 1, and he's beaten Alex Albon out onto the track, and Isaac Hadjar as well.
That's a proper pit exit, isn't it? Wow, we're doing 150 miles an hour before you finish it, but good news for...
And keep building this gap on Leclerc. It gives us choices.
Gap has gone up to 2.2 seconds.
They need more than that. If they want to have the luxury of hitting a lap after Leclerc, and maybe even 2 laps after Leclerc, they need 4 to 5 seconds. What do you think, Bernie?
Yeah, I totally agree, Martin. I was just looking at that because I think Leclerc is at risk of an undercut on Norris. That's why they're trying to open that gap. And Norris is too far behind Verstappen.
Right, they're waiting at McLaren for that. Lando Norris can see the crew out in the pit lane, and Lando Norris is coming in to make his first and possibly only stop of this race, and Charles Leclerc is also coming in, and Fernando Alonso will also pit too, and that won't affect Norris's exit, as McLaren do a super job in servicing 4 tyres and getting him back out again. 2.5 seconds for Ferrari, 2.1 seconds for McLaren.
Now Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc, for that matter, will hear the traffic on the pit straight. That's the most awful feeling in the world when you're on the pit limit, so you can hear all your rivals. So he will come out behind Kimi Antonelli, and there it is.
I was going to say, the Mercedes you saw through turn 1 was Kimi Antonelli, so he's down in 9th place now for Lando Norris. Antonelli and Sainz and Stroll, Lawson haven't pitted yet.
Oscar, do you think we can do plan A? Thoughts on plan A? I think doable for now.
And plan A then, go long on these hard compound tyres as his teammate is stuck in a bit of a DRS train. And that's not good news for Lando Norris. They've all got DRS, but unless they can get past Liam Lawson, who's running 5th, and then they all stay in that stationary position.
I guess they had to react with Norris to Russell as well, didn't they? And also Alonso and Leclerc came in, but this is not ideal for Lando Norris in this amount of traffic.
Just in the background, Charles Leclerc looked under pressure a little bit from George Russell, just on the tail of that DRS train. All the while here, Lando Norris is going to be losing time to his championship rivals, Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. And I said Charles Leclerc was under pressure from George Russell. Look how close Russell is.
Yeah, Leclerc looks like he's got no grip on those tyres at all. Hope they come to him a little bit, but he was really struggling for grip out there on the hard compound tyres.
So both Leclerc and Norris pitting to cover off George Russell, who pitted earlier, but it's put them in severe danger. Norris into traffic, Russell right on the tail of Leclerc.
That's not moving under braking. I don't know what it is. It's going to be as a brake to move.
Can't wait for the day George Russell joins us in the commentary box, Martin. He has got so many opinions down the inside. Goes Lando Norris on Kimi Antonelli. That's a move he had to make. So there's 1 gone, and now he's got 3 more to try and get past as well.
Antonelli's got the DRS though, because the detection point's on the exit of the corner. Norris will have to watch out for him coming back at him, and he survives that moment. So now he moves on, and he should have a chance of getting past this Williams down the next straight.
And Stroll on the hard tyre, started on the hard tyre, has now got past Liam Lawson and has moved up into 5th. Here comes Lando Norris on the Williams of Carlos Sainz. Great friends, former teammates, swapping places. Norris is up to 7th, 2 back straights and 2 places made up.
Yeah, that's important and very good overtaking there from Lando Norris. The one on Antonelli was great, very committed, and an unorthodox place, unless you're 2021 Max Verstappen, quite an unorthodox place to try to overtake somebody, but he made it stick with those tyres.
He certainly did. Lawson is back ahead of Stroll as they swap places, and coming up behind Lance Stroll now is Lando Norris. Bernie Collins, on the pit wall, down to you.
Yeah, so this is it, Crofty. This is the most dangerous bit of the race for Lando Norris's championship position, because coming through this traffic can, and often does, be the thing that causes a safety car. These overtakes that need to be made. In a safety car now, Verstappen and Piastri will be the big winners. So that's one to watch out for. Also, 3 cars ahead of Lando Norris is Yuki Tsunoda on that hard tyre from the start. So he's going to have to overtake him on track to close the pit window for Verstappen and Piastri.
He's going to get Stroll here into the chicane we go. He might get Lawson too, and does. Well, 2 drivers, 2 overtakes for the price of 1 for Lando Norris there. Yuki Tsunoda is next on the road.
Yeah, Ant is just in my ear said race control saying that's brave when you're leading a championship. Really super driving there, but again he needs to fend off this potential. It's so important to keep this place, and he will. He's got the grip to do it, and off he goes. So as Bernie was pointing out, next stop Yuki Tsunoda, Max Verstappen's teammate. But to be honest, the pace he's got, and with those tyres, Tsunoda, I don't think, as long as he's playing reasonable, we'll have a prayer of keeping that McLaren behind him for half a lap.
And people might be asking at the moment, and as good as this is from Lando Norris, he is losing time as Ocon now pits to Verstappen and Piastri lap by lap. They might be saying, well, why did McLaren pit him when they did? Now, they were covering George Russell.
Yeah.
It's fine as long as Lando Norris stays ahead of George Russell, because that should protect that 3rd place when all this pans out, and we see Charles Leclerc getting past Kimi Antonelli, and the pit stops are all played out. Lando Norris should still be in 3rd place, but they had to pit then to cover off George Russell, as we see the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll against Charles Leclerc, and now they can go wheel to wheel down that back straight, and on the inside Charles Leclerc should get that move done not once but twice. It's happened again. Liam Lawson and Lance Stroll, who haven't pitted yet, both passed at the same point.
Lewis Hamilton right in there as well with that early stop. Has brought him nicely into play if he can keep those tyres intact.
Lewis Hamilton now up into 10th place. Watch out for Liam Lawson with a bit of DRS coming back at Charles Leclerc, and he's too far back to make a move into turn 9.
So 1 car then ahead of Norris against Tsunoda is Tsunoda. Then the next 2 cars are just the 2 cars in front of him, Verstappen and Piastri. And again then, it looks like Leclerc's got that Ferrari up to speed on the hard compound tyres. And you'd have to say, it's remarkably close to the back of Lando Norris.
They're still saying plan A for Lando Norris. No need to deviate too much. They're happy on that McLaren pit wall with the way this race is panning out. Now, the next blockage for Lando could be a blockage, might not be a blockage, we will see. Will be Yuki Tsunoda, who started on the hard tyre for this very eventuality, to be a helping hand to his teammate Max Verstappen to try and hold up Lando Norris at some stage, because Norris was always going to pit by starting on the medium tyre ahead of the Red Bull driver starting on the hard tyre. There's Yuki, there's Lando, give it a couple of laps and we'll see just how far behind he is. Then we'll see how quick he can make a move.
Okay, we expect Norris to be your DRS within 1 lap. Or he can when he catches.
Just like I said there, if you could just help us out, Yuki, in what is your final race for Red Bull and the final race for Honda with Red Bull 2, that will be lovely.
As they did with Sergio Perez in 2021, but Lando Norris was 3/10 slower than Charles Leclerc on the previous lap. He's already a 10th down on this. Leclerc's fast. Leclerc is going to be the thorn in the side of McLaren tonight in this World Championship.
And look at George Russell go too. Past Stroll, past Lawson. Lawson and Stroll having their own little battle here, and George Russell's there to pick up the pieces. He's up in the 6th. It seems if you can pass the Aston Martin or the Racing Bulls, you'll get the other in the same corner at the moment. That's exactly what's been happening.
Yeah.
I know what to do, leave me to it, says Snowden.
Well, all he can do is try and slow him down a little bit through the final sector. That put Charles Leclerc right on his tail, but you're not allowed to weave, you're not allowed to, well, per se, of course, this is for position, so there are no blue flags involved here. And Yuki Tsunoda, who is out of Formula One as of this evening, but stays with Red Bull as test and development reserve driver. And annoyingly for Norris, he hasn't caught him at the beginning of the straight, so Tsunoda will have all the right corners to slow Norris down.
129.1 on the last lap for Lando Norris with those fresher tyres. Verstappen a 129.4, Piastri a 129.5, Charles Leclerc a 129.0, George Russell making a couple of overtakes at 130.0. The gap between Norris and Leclerc, not much at all, about a second and a half. They can see Charles Leclerc right behind the quiet cars in 6.9 to go.
Now he's found some grip. Leclerc is absolutely flying, but this is where Tsunoda can hurt Norris in terms of just through these slow corners and just back him up a little bit. But once they get then all the way down to the back straight, Norris ought to have the ability to go past him.
What has Yuki Tsunoda got to try and fend off Lando Norris? He hasn't got the superior tyre life. He has got the battery at his disposal. He's got the override button, as it were.
Leclerc is only 1.4 seconds behind Tsunoda's being told. We're bordering on the edge of unsporting behaviour here, right on the edge of it.
Yuki Tsunoda definitely putting the handbrake on at a 130.0. He was about half a second slower on that previous lap. Lando Norris is right on his tail. This is where Yuki Tsunoda now needs to deploy his battery and to give him that electrical boost down the back straight. But is it enough of a boost? Because here comes Lando Norris and he gets forced right almost completely off the track. Yuki Tsunoda made it tough, but Lando Norris sailed through. That is crucial for Lando Norris's championship charge.
We're going to have to look at that, because was he all four wheels off the track? He was, because he was pushed off the track.
Yeah.
But he overtook off the track. We'll check that out.
But he'll claim force majeure. I had to do it, otherwise I was going into the back of it.
I would think so, but...
Right, while that happens, in comes Max Verstappen. Let's head down to the pits. Ted Kravitz.
Yeah, so what that also did from Yuki Tsunoda is making sure that if Red Bull have a slow pit stop, then he is absolutely safe. It's not brilliant, but it's enough. So job done, enough from Yuki Tsunoda, notwithstanding pushing Lando onto the grass, and Max carries on. He'll rejoin well ahead of Lando.
Yeah, the trouble when you're out there where Norris was is punctures. If you get such a risk of punctures when you're out in uncharted territory like that. But anyway, on they go.
There you got some clear air. Let's see how this tyre recovers.
What have you got for us, Oscar? Try and build a gap, please, say McLaren. 23 laps led by Max Verstappen. Tonight it means he's led more laps than any other driver this season. And this is the Lando Norris Yuki Tsunoda incident. Did he go all four wheels off the track? Was he forced all four wheels off the track?
Did he keep a bit of tyre on the white line? But Tsunoda moved. You're only allowed to move once. It's absolutely clear in the race. You cannot weave like that. That is absolutely against the regulations. Lando Norris was off the track, and of course the team will say, well, of course he was, because he was literally, we had a guy weaving all over. You absolutely cannot do what Tsunoda just did.
Which might be the defence to play here. Whether the stewards say, no, it's a good defence, but you still did it, I don't know. The thing is now that Lando Norris is what? Just looking at the gap, over 2 seconds ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. That has been noted by race control, so the stewards may well have a look at it. Oscar Piastri out in the lead. Max Verstappen runs in second place. Lando Norris third. That is still good enough for Lando Norris to be world champion if it stays that way.
So Red Bull will be saying he overtook off the track. They'll be pushing this hard now. And I'm sure McLaren will be fighting back hard on it as well, and the stewards will have to be firm on all of that. So here we go then, we're back with it's now Piastri, Verstappen, Norris. Leclerc is still close enough to spoil Norris's race, year, life, in terms of Norris having to get into the top three.
We'll put it this way, Yuki Tsunoda has now been passed by Charles Leclerc. I don't think he made Charles Leclerc fights quite as hard as he made Lando Norris, and he probably won't do it for George Russell too, because that is not going to help his teammate Max Verstappen, who needs Norris out of the top three. Only Oscar Piastri of that top three hasn't pitted yet, and he's trying to build a gap to come back into this race and still be around first or second. This is Charles Leclerc passing Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda kept well over to the right-hand side there, didn't he?
Well, his steering wheel appeared to be connected to his front tyres there, Yuki Tsunoda.
The stewards, yeah, so race control have actually noted Yuki Tsunoda now for forcing another driver off the track. That might be a 5-second penalty.
That would be a relief to McLaren that they're not looking at a pass off the track. That would be brutally unfair because of the weaving. But let's see. We'll keep an eye on this.
I think they are looking at it as well. It's been noted. The two incidents have both been noted. So forcing another driver off the track is now under investigation. Leaving the track and gaining an advantage is now under investigation. The two wrongs don't normally make a right, but you can see both being chalked off because one wouldn't have happened without the other, so to speak. Either way, while that's going on, Charles Leclerc is now the fastest man on the track, and he's got some grip back now. His tyres have come up to temperature, and Lando Norris in third place, a bit more comfortable in terms of on-track position than he has been so far this evening. But I think that we want him to be kept in touch with what's going on in the stewards' room.
Yeah, he can't give the place back, of course, because he's now miles behind, and there's a clear between them. So I can't see how you can penalise somebody for forcing somebody else off the track, and then penalise that person for going off the track.
Yeah.
I guess you could say, well, the throttle works both ways. You should have slowed down when you were being forced off the track at a couple of 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, we get that he forced you off the track. You didn't have to overtake him. And like I say, sometimes two wrongs don't make a right. This time they might do. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not a stupid.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what the stewards do. But let's see what they do. So Lawson's got a. He served his 5-second penalty now, has Liam Lawson, for driving erratically.
I suppose if you go back to Austin last year, with the incident with Max Verstappen, where Lando claimed he was forced off the track by Max, and he was, still overtook him, and he got the penalty that night as well, didn't he?
And of course, Leclerc has just done the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So right now, Leclerc is coming back at Norris, whose tyres must be full of rubbish. Coming back at him, he's just got the faster package at the moment. And if Leclerc passes him, the only tool, if Norris is running fourth and Piastri can't win the World Championship, the only tool they've got left in their toolbox then is for Piastri to give up the victory and fall back to fourth place.
Yeah, which is a scenario we've been discussing at length. Long into the night, all weekend long, and one that Zach Brown, I'm sure, has been discussing, and Zach Brown and Andrea Stella making it clear to both drivers that they go into this race to serve themselves and the best interests of the team.
So they're going to have to pit Piastri soon anyway, because he's perilously close to being undercut by Norris and Leclerc. Yeah, his pace is mega, and well done indeed. So McLaren are going to have to get Piastri in. He's not going fast enough at the moment to protect against the undercut.
Ted, down to you.
Yeah, I've just been, well, you've been talking about Lando being pushed off by Yuki. I've just been looking at Piastri's lap times. Martin, you're absolutely spot on. The mechanic's not going out into the McLaren pit lane yet. It's a little bit early. They'd like to get it into the 30s. Bear in mind that Oscar will go onto the medium, so will be quicker, but this hard tyre is good. Remember, people were quite keen to get off the medium because of it was graining earlier. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Leave it a lap or two, and then Leclerc will be past Piastri when he pits. Quick decision to be made now down at McLaren.
Right, Fernando Alonso here on Kimi Antonelli. See the marbles that he's picking up by going offline to get that overtake done. That's him moving up into 9th place.
Yeah, it's horrible. There's another car that was nearly off the racetrack in an overtake, but luckily at high speed they can tend to flick off a little bit, and if your tyres are nice and hot, they don't join Glucksman. Look at how fast and how determined Charles Leclerc is to spoil everybody's night. And why shouldn't he? Good for him.
Absolutely. Is there a podium on for Charles Leclerc this evening so far in 2025? He's picked up 7 podiums, got an 8th becoming his way.
Lewis Hamilton with 2 warnings for track limits. You're allowed 3. The 4th one you'll get black and white.
Is right now on the tail of Yuki Tsunoda, no way past at turn 9. Bernie, down to you.
Yeah, just to crack on properly. So we are seeing Piastri has now been undercut by Lando Norris. So are they on 2 different strategies? Are Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc on a 2-stop strategy from that early stop? Piastri has now done 29 laps on this hard tyre. Norris is expected to go well over that if he continues on just this stint and doesn't stop again. So that's one to watch because they have now allowed Norris to undercut Piastri. So is he playing still a longer game than the Leclerc and Norris potentially? Just watch out that they might be on a 2-stop.
And Bernie, you know the secrets to the cabinet of strategies, the filing cabinet of strategies at Ferrari. Charles Leclerc has been told Plan C. What could Plan C be this evening?
Well, I think that might be it. I think that they believe they've got another medium to put on. They could put another medium on and attempt the undercut on Norris. Norris has another hard tyre to go to, so different entire strategies if they were to stop again for both of those. But is Leclerc close enough with good enough pace to attempt the undercut on Lando Norris, force him to do another stop?
Don't go anywhere. This race and this championship is not decided yet. Yuki Tsunoda ahead of George Russell. Not for much longer. George Russell is ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who has got a 5-second time penalty for more than one change of direction. You called it, Martin. He was weaving down the straight.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed. You're allowed one move. If you come back towards the break zone, you've got to give them a car's width. I always think that should be a car and 10 centimetres width to give them a little bit of breathing space. But what are they going to say about Lando Norris?
I'll tell you what they're going to say. Nothing to say. Leaving the track and gaining an advantage. No further action taken. So the inference there is that Lando had to go out there and had too much momentum to back off a little bit. It wasn't his fault that he overtook all 4 wheels off the track.
Yeah. I'm calm with that because you can't tolerate driving like that and then penalise the guy that's, you know, been nearly run into at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. I don't think there will be many arguing against that, but I'm sure you'll find out on social media after the race. Lap 30 of 58, Piastri now 14 seconds clear of Max Verstappen, and Zach Brown is on the pit wall, the CEO of McLaren. I would imagine there was a bit of conversation between the pit wall and race control. Give us your version of how it went and what you thought of the decision.
I think it was clearly the right decision, and that was a dangerous and unnecessary maneuver.
What did you think of the radio calls from Red Bull, Zach, giving in details of the gaps behind Lando and you know what you've got to do? How do you feel about that?
Well, this is a team sport, so I'm not surprised that your second car is going to help out, but I think there's got to be a limit. But they're not driving the car, so you got to put that one on Yuki for, in my opinion, going over the line. It was a dangerous maneuver, but yeah, we're all good now.
And to the end of this race then, Lando Norris is maybe going to be under pressure from Charles Leclerc. Can you go to the end of the race on a 1-stop, or are you looking at a 2-stop race here?
I think all options are on the table at the moment.
Diplomatic, Zach, I love it. Thanks ever so much. Black and white flag shown to Kimi Antonelli and to Lewis Hamilton for exceeding track limits. One more, and there's a 5-second penalty coming their way, and Pierre Gasly's way, and Nico Hulkenberg's way. There's a lot of track limits. It is very windy out there tonight.
And the trouble is, if you have a scuffle and a squabble and you end up going off to avoid an accident, that's still a track limits infringement. So then you start getting 5-second penalties. But Norris will be that pesky Ferrari in his mirrors that will not let him relax this evening. But so, Piastri, if he is one-stopping, plan A, we assume, and I'm sure they should change those around so they don't give too much away, but Piastri's now been undercut by Verstappen, Norris and Leclerc.
And we'll have fresher tyres, medium tyres as well, to the end of this race. Hulkenberg. Verstappen says the fastest lap of the race.
We have been given a 5-second penalty for moving twice on a defence of Norris.
Penalty? What penalty for?
We've got a penalty for moving twice in defence to Norris. Head down.
Was that twice or was that actually 4 times?
Doing his best impression of a slalom skier.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed. I'm amazed he thought that was okay, to be honest. But, well, there you go, in the heat of the moment.
I'm disappointed with that.
Hamilton hitting for a second time in this race. So the strategy to go soft and then hard isn't happening to the end of this race. So the grading severe enough that Lewis had to pit again. And that might then signal a few others in that midfield pack coming into pit once more.
So what's interesting here is Norris is just 5 seconds behind Verstappen, Leclerc 7.9. So those three, when Piastri pits, those three will be quite close together. Piastri will have to start coming back at them with his extra grip and speed. That's going to be fascinating. There's going to be some overtaking going on in the final part of the Grand Prix. But all Charles Leclerc's got to do now, with George Russell 12.1 behind Leclerc, all Norris has got to do is stay ahead of that Ferrari. That's now job number one, the only job Norris has really got this evening.
Verstappen's pace, though, is really good on these hard compound tyres. I know he's only been running them for 9 laps. 7 laps more than Lando Norris, but he's lapping about half a second a lap quicker. He's really flying on these hard tyres. Piastri has run his right from the start. On that last lap was 1.2 seconds slower than Max Verstappen. We're watching Ollie Behrman chasing Nico Hulkenberg, and we're watching nothing happening at the Red Bull pit stop because there's a 5-second penalty for Yuki Tsunoda before someone says now, and then they can get going again with the tyre change. Do you know what? That was a really good tyre change, given that he was stationary for 5 seconds.
And they had to get him away because Antonelli was on his way in as well.
And Franco Colapinto becomes, I think, the 5th driver to be shown a black and white flag for exceeding track limits. This is Esteban Ocon on Kimi Antonelli, who is one of those that's been shown the black and white flag. Antonelli forces Ocon to go around the outside, and Ocon says, all right, don't mind if I do, thank you very much indeed. He's currently running in the last points place in 10th behind Gabriel. So that's only Lance Stroll in this race. Hasn't pitted yet. Lance Stroll currently running in 6th. A safety car now would be absolute manna from heaven, I think, for Lance Stroll there, who hasn't scored a point, I don't think, since the summer break.
If Oscar Piastri doesn't win the World Championship tonight, I'm absolutely certain he will win at least one World Championship. He's got an age on his side. He's so fast, he's so good. Got a clear, got a calm head as well. So he's driving beautifully. But at the moment, the points are against him. Ted, what can you tell us?
Interesting radio message to Max Verstappen. Just picking up what he's saying on the safety car, is that because he's been driving so quickly, if there's a safety car now, he'll still beat Piastri out of the pits, and that is crucial. So, yeah, up until that point, Piastri, had there been a safety car, had an 11-second gap on Max Verstappen, so would have beaten him. Another Williams in the pits now.
Basically, we need our fastest to the end, Max. We don't want to give away too much race time to Piastri, who will undoubtedly be relatively quick on this medium.
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? How quick will he be? But yeah, I can just see down the pit lane, a little bit of movement now at McLaren, so I don't think it's going to be long before we have a Piastri start.
I keep talking about safety cars. We haven't had one here tonight. We haven't had a yellow flag yet either. A bit like Suzuka earlier in the season, when Max Verstappen won from pole position. No DNS, no yellow flags, no safety cars. All 20 drivers still running. Final race with 20 cars in it for some time. Cadillac join the grid next year. We'll have 22 on the grids. Cadillac 8 laps to go past.
That's 16, Norris put his tyres on. Can they get them to the end of the Grand Prix? Well, they have to stop again towards the end. That would, of course, bring Piastri right back into the lead of the Grand Prix. But Norris has been told, do less tyre saving in turn 3, half your tyre saving in turn 3. In other words, go faster.
Does that indicate that he will be coming in again? I wonder, and certainly with his teammate having to pit.
doing a great job compared to the pro. He might pit soon and go on a 2, in which case we'll cover it the next lap.
Yeah, so Piastri has to come in. Leclerc might have to, but he has dropped back a little bit in recent laps.
Yeah, because Norris is 4.4 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Now, if you gain a couple of seconds with some fresh tyres and a great outlap, you need that 2.4 he would have then fat, if you like, a little bit of time to spare, just in case it's a slightly clunky stop or whatever. You don't want to come out of the pits and be immediately under pressure by a driver whose tyres are fully warmed up. So what that is basically saying is we're protecting third place, Lando.
Yeah, at the moment, Oscar Piastri as well, when he pits, will come out behind Charles Leclerc, well ahead of George Russell, who's currently running in 5th. And there was no movement whatsoever from the McLaren garage as Oscar Piastri sets off on another lap on these same set of tyres.
So McLaren have still got 2 tools out there to use. One is a third place for Norris, and the other is Oscar Piastri if he can win the World Championship. And we'll see what happens in the well, we've got 23 laps to go, including this one.
Piastri just 7 seconds ahead now of Max Verstappen. Hard rather than medium start can work well here, and we'll still need to see how this plays out and how it pans out towards the end. He will have much faster tyres, you would imagine, than others around him. That's why Red Bull are saying to Max, you've got to start closing down a little bit. Penalty served for Yuki Tsunoda. We've just had that confirmed. Lewis Hamilton now on Franco Colapinto. Hamilton having pitted twice in this race, back on the mediums, or on the mediums for the first time I should say, getting that move done.
Yeah, got a lot of grip, hasn't he? So Albon's been noted for speeding in the pit lane, which is rather like a camera on the road. A bit of a slam dunk, isn't it? So yeah, not good news for Alex Albon. In fact, Williams have been very anonymous, haven't they, in this race, one way and another?
Given the season they have had, absolutely. It's been a brilliant season for Williams.
How's this tie now? Yeah, really starting to get a bit worse now. Okay.
I'm not surprised as Hamilton gets past Pierre Gasly and now up into 14th.
Unbelievably calm inside. It's like he's just got out of bed, isn't it? And, you know, do you want a cup of tea? Yeah, I like a cup of tea. So it means his heart rate's where it needs to be, means his mind's where it needs to be. He's going to have some exciting final few laps, but he will now obviously see that little yellow snout of the Red Bull